Hi, I'm Don, and this is The Hobbyist Key. Welcome back, y'all. Today we are doing part 5 of this Impression Hawaii build, and this has been an adventure. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Today's goal is to finish off both basement levels so that in the next video we'll be able to hopefully finish off the project. But for now, let's just bring you in, get back to this build. All right, we're gonna kick things off with our larger basement room here. We're gonna start populating this puppy out. We are going to start with this. This will be our stairs that we built before. And those are gonna go all the way over here in this corner. When setting them, make sure they do not go above the roof here, okay? So let's go ahead and get these glued in. All right, look at that. All right. Now, while we're waiting for that to dry, we're gonna bring out all of these. These are D25s. And basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna go over here in this corner. We're gonna start right at the edge of this hole here and place one right there like a nice little post, okay, like that. And the other 3 will be evenly separated, so we've got this kind of row of them right there. Let me get this glued in, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, look at that. Now, we're gonna take one of these. This is D21. It'll go right on the edge here to extend this out just a little bit. There you go. Look at that. Awesome. Next one's gonna be kind of fun because we have our table with the offset leg. And basically it's gonna go like this. And it's gonna go right over here, okay? So the table leg, of course, on the ground, and then the back of the table here right up against the stairs. So there will be those 2 glue points. But you're gonna have to probably hold it in place until it dries enough to be stable. So let me get that done. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, should look a little something like that when you're done. This still has a little bit of drying to do before we can really move on. So I'm gonna let that happen and I'll be right back. All right, next up, I'm gonna take this piece and it's going to go right about in the center like a carpet. Make sure it does not go to the edge. There's gonna be some stuff here, so no edges. But, you know, centered right about there should be fine. So let me go ahead and glue this in. Be right back. There it is, look at that. Sweet. All right, next up, we have all 3 of these E9-42 pieces here. These are just little pictures. And what we're gonna do is glue them all along the back wall here. So let me go ahead and get those glued in and I'll show you what it looks like. And there you go. All 3 pictures are installed. Nice. All right, next up we have B37 and C3. And those are gonna go in here to basically create a raised lip. Now, this is where this not being perfectly cut is frustrating to me. Let's see if I can showcase this. You can see there's a little gap here, but they're supposed to meet. Okay. What's more is you can see a little bit, I don't know if you can, because a little bit of a lip here because it doesn't line up perfectly no matter how much I try. So it's going to be interesting. Let me see what I can do about this. Now, in addition to that, for those who've been here since the first part, you'll know that there's supposed to be 4 of these, and I got 3 intact and 1 broken. Okay, this is where I'm going to go ahead and install the broken one. I'm going to do it right here at the beginning, plus it's got this whole floor here to help keep it stabilized. So this is where I'm going to put this one in. So let me go ahead and do what I can to make this happen. All right, look at this. I'm gonna be honest, not sure exactly how because there's no lip now. There's a little bit of one over here, but for the most part, this actually came together very, very nicely. So maybe I just needed to glue it in so it'd stay in place. But it is there, looking good. Next up, we're going to take, get these. We've got 2 of them that we built previously. Both of them are going to go onto this little table right here. So let me get those in. There we go. Look at that. All right. Next up, we have this. That's right, our little table here, and that is going to go dead center of this carpet. So let's glue that in. Look at that. And from there, we're going to take these 2 chairs, and they're going to be one on either side of the table. So let's glue those in too. Look at that beauty. Awesome. All right, next up, we're going to take this. This is the big chair of the pair that we made, and that is going to go right about there. So let me go ahead and glue that in. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Next up, we've got 4 of these. These are B36s. And those are going to go here, 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 and here as little support posts. And then we have another B37 and another C3 that'll go right on top of it to complete this frame that goes around. So let me glue all that in, and I'll be right back. All right, look at this. Look at this. All right, now we're gonna set this to the side and let it dry for a bit and get to work on the other basement. All right, to kickstart this basement, I'm gonna start with the bed. And that is just gonna glue all the way back in the corner, just like that. So let's get that in. Look at that, buddy. Looks nice. All right, next up, we're gonna take our pillow here, and that is just gonna sit way back in the corner, much like that. So let me glue that in too. Beautiful. And with that in place, we're gonna bring out our curtains. And those are basically gonna go in here. So we'll have them glued in right about here-ish. Kind of hard to do right, like this, but We'll get them in right about there-ish. Get them all nice and neat. And actually, that's not true. We're not going to do this first. We're going to do this first. So this is going to go like this. So let's get this in first, and then we'll do the curtains. And I'll be right back. Look at that. Come on. How cool is that? How cool is that? Very nice. All right, next up we're going to take D22 here, and that is basically going to go right in here. So let me glue that in. All right, just like that. Now, don't worry about it going over the top of the lip there. That's fine. There is that cutout in the back of this one where that will go up through. So having it come just a little bit up, perfectly fine. All right, next up, we have this. This is C6. C6 is going to go here, but it's going to be a railing, so it's going to be a little bit raised. So on the underside, we have 3 of these D5s, and those are going to go here at the long end, one right here in the center of this curve, and then one right in the center of this curve. And this end here is what will attach to the side of the building here. So let me go ahead and get all of that in. Look at that. Wonderful. All right, coming back to the inside here, we're going to take our little National Geographic book, and that will go right on the edge of the bed over here. So let's get that glued in. Beautiful, beautiful. Now we're going to take our little, I don't know, perfume desk here, and that is going to go all the way on the end of the carpet, right about there. Just like that. So let me go ahead and glue that in. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, next up, this plant right there. That's going to go in the corner over here by the ladders. Let's glue that in too. All right, there it is. Now that might actually be a little too tall. If I can't make that right there fit through the hole the ladder comes through, I may end up snipping the top of it off. I may do that anyway. But there it is, looking nice. Cool, let's see what's next. All right, next up would be our slippers. And those are gonna go right on the carpet, right around there-ish, give or take. So let me go ahead and get those glued into. And there you go, look at that. Now what we're going to do is take another of these C3s and we're going to glue this down here. And should look about like that. And there you go, look at that. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to take out some stones here. We're just going to lay them around the curved part of our carpet here. So let me get those in. Look at that. Not perfect to be sure, but not bad. Not bad at all. All right, what's next? All right, next up, we're going to take 3 of these B36s. Now, instructions only say to use 2 of them, but I have a feeling these guys knew their measurements were going to be off. You see, over here, that is supposed to line up with this, but it doesn't. You can see it's all nice and flush. It's not like it's as horribly off. But it doesn't. So there's supposed to be one here and one about here, but I'm gonna need to put a third one here. And as it turns out, I have an extra. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in these posts, and then we have another of these C3s that will go on top to complete the frame. So let me get that in. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Well, let's let this dry and then we will move on. All right. This next part is going to be interesting. We're bringing out the transparency that we cut out ages ago. And what we're going to do is glue it around the edge here to basically make windows. Now, this stuff is not going to want to bend, okay? So my plan is going to be to glue it to one of the flats, then let the glue dry in its entirety, then bring it around the curve, next flat, then around the curve, next flat, and go from there. And I'm going to do the same on both. Now, this, I just noticed it's kind of wider here than here, so it must have slipped when I was cutting it. It's not that big a deal though. All along the bottom, we're going to have some decoration that we're going to put in after we've applied this. So any issues you may have, mistakes, anything like that, make sure they're along the bottom, okay? Because that's going to be hidden by the decoration that's coming up. Also, this side is going to be nearly impossible to see once we've assembled the final product. This is where solid wall is going to be, okay? So you're basically going to be looking at it from this angle or this angle. So any big mistakes can go over here, all right? Let me go ahead and get that stuff glued in, and I'll be right back. Oh, should note, this one does not wrap all the way around. The small one is only going to wrap around this, okay? It's not going to wrap around on this edge. So this will probably be a little easier to do. All right, let me get this glued in, see what we have. Alrighty, y'all. Look at that. Very nice. My little method of one side, let it dry, fold it around, worked spectacularly on both of these. Word of warning, once you're done, make sure, especially on the top edge, any excess you trim off. You're gonna want this as flat as possible. Same for this, make it as flat as possible. Bottom edge, you're gonna have less of an issue with. And you'll see why shortly. But for now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our lower basement here, and we're gonna put these two pieces on our little deck here. So let me go ahead and get those in. I'll show you what it looks like. All right, there you go, look at that. All right, now you're probably gonna wanna let this dry before you get into this, but it's up to you. Next up, I'm gonna take this, we're gonna glue it to the top of this. This little ladder here is gonna go through that hole in the back right there. And according to the instructions, it's supposed to be 7 millimeters forward. So the back here should be 7 millimeters forward at the back here. That's where I put these little dots, okay? Let me tell you, not gonna make it exactly 7. The measurements are a little off. So sadly, there's very little I can do, but it'll be relatively close. and should be just fine. So, should look a little something like that, give or take, once it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and get that glued in, and I'll show you the final result there. Alrighty, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. All right, next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take H19, that's these rocks here, and we're going to line them all the way around on the bottom of this upper level, okay? On the lower level, we're going to start here and line them around, and here's where you're going to have to make a choice. You see, if you look in the instructions, and I'm going to bring those out just to show you, you can see the rocks come all the way through. However, if you look over here, and again here, you can see the rocks stop right about where the window does on the lower level, so that you can put this thing in, which we have saved from way back when. So this is a personal choice, however you want to handle it. I'm going to try and do this. You do you, but for now, what we're going to do is take our rocks, and we're just going to get them all lined up. So let me get that done. Alrighty, look at this. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take more of these. This is H13, and we're going to just sprinkle it about, kind of look like moss or some overgrown stuff. See what kind of fun designs we can come up with. Alrighty, look at that. That looks wonderful. I went ahead and put that on as well, so that, well, we're done. That is the completion of our basements, and they look wonderful. I can't wait to see what comes next, but unfortunately, we're going to have to end the video here. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.